Hey guys, it's Mr. Jack and 000 here, back with Automation the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds called the Mazda MX-5 Miata drift car. This is a near replica of the current ND platform of the Miata. Instead of making it a typical convertible sports car, I made it to specifically compete in drift competitions, and also this car does not have Skyactiv technology because it uses a different and powerful engine that's not made by Mazda. It has a lap time of 1 minute 19 seconds 51 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track and 2 minutes 11 seconds 77 milliseconds at the automation track. It has a top speed of 199 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds flat. This vehicle uses a heavily modified Toyota 2JZ GTE engine that produces 630 horsepower and 526.1 foot-pounds of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of 14.6 miles per gallon and weighs 2,687 pounds or 1,218.8 kilograms. And for the market, it mediocrely competes in both the track and muscle car markets, and it horribly competes in the convertible sports car market like it should be, especially for a car that had an engine swap. In terms of how I created the MX-5 Miata drift car, the panel material will be made out of aluminum with a monocoque chassis made out of light AHS steel, with a front longitudinal engine placement, and the front suspension is a double wishbone, and the rear suspension is a multi-link. For the engine, it's an inline-6 cast iron engine with the bore and stroke set to 86 millimeters, which makes it 2,995 cubic centimeters or around 3 liters, with a dual overhead cam 4 valve made out of aluminum with no VVL. For the crank, it's made out of forged steel, and the conrods are at lightweight titanium and the pistons are at lightweight forged. For the compression, it is set at somewhat of above normal 10.0 to 1 with the cam profile set to 74, and it uses VVT at all cams, and plus 15 for the quality, because this thing likes valve float a lot. For the turbo, it's got ball bearings with the intercooler set to 956 horsepower, the compressor at 61 millimeters, turbine at 58.5, AR ratio at 0.954, the max boost at 21.5 psi, and plus 15, let's just assume it is for most of them. For the fuel system, instead of a multi-point EFI, we're using a direct injection throttle persona configuration of a race intake running on premium fuel, with the fuel mixture set to 10.5, the ignition timing bumped it all the way up to 100, and the RPM limit set to 8,000 RPM. For the headers, our only option is a short cast because of the turbo with a single exhaust, with the exhaust diameter set to 152 millimeters or 6 inches with no cats or mufflers. And it's might as well just cut back to the engine test for the sake of this video. I rarely do this, but I'm just going to do this right now. So here is a brief sound of what the 2JZ engine sounds like in this game. So I'm going to do a manual test of the engine right now. That sounds pretty legitimate of an inline-6 engine. Very legitimate. For the drive type, it's unorthodox for a drift vehicle. We're using an all-wheel drive configuration with a dual clutch 6-speed, the top speed set to 199.4 miles per hour, even though it could go up to 211 miles an hour, but I decided to lower the top speed and also drop the spacing because it had wheel spin in all 4 gears. I went down to 25 just to get the wheel spin in the first 2 gears. It's pretty much important to do this rather than having wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel spin at every single gear, making this even more undrivable. And the power distribution kept it as is at a 50-50. For the tires, we're using hard long life tires with the front tire diameter set to 230 millimeters and 190 in the back to get a buttload of oversteer, which is important for a drift car. And it's running on 17-inch magnesium rims. For the brakes, they got a whole lot of brakes in the front with carbon ceramic 4 pistons with 350 millimeters in the front, and the same carbon ceramic 2 pistons in the back with the size set to 290 millimeters, and the pad type kept it as is, and adjust the brake bias to 64 to 36%. Interior, pretty much expected. 1-seater, sport, no entertainment because it's a drift car. Safety, well, we got power steering because to make it a little bit easier. It's got ABS and basic 2000 safety standards, because the driver doesn't want to die in this thing, especially how this is, oh my god, a convertible I made. I just took out the roof. Wait, is there a roof on here or no? So I took out the roof by using this patchwork mod here, and all I did was just pretend there's a roof up here, or let's pretend this hood is a roof. Like if you use the patchwork mod, apply this to the roof, you'll be making this square hole, and you can resize it whatever you want. Like you can make a hole in the hood. You can see this engine here. You can make it a square, circle, this piece here, and a triangle, or whatever it suits you, to open up the frickin' drop top and see the little driver's seat here and the steering wheel and everything in between. That patchwork mod is listed in the description. It's also in the Automation Steam Workshop if you want to download it. And last thing with this vehicle, it's got standard springs with semi-active dampers and active sway bars running on a modified race preset. Despite quite a lot of problems on here, such as the quality issues, oversteering, ride height, dampers, brake force, tires, and all that good stuff, we're going to export this to BeamNG.drive and test it out. So here we are at the modded map of the Ibisu Minami, if I'm saying that right, which is a modded map you can find in the BeamNG repository. And taking a look at this car, I can barely see the frickin' brake lights on here. Well, now you can, since I moved it even closer. With the lighting placement and everything, I mean, it looks pretty legitimate of an ND Mazda Miata, like these rear lights here, including these side cornering lamps for both the rear and the front right here, even though this is more of a turn indicator, and this, let's say that's also an indicator or something or whatever. It's got liveries, sponsors everywhere, like your boy Part Hub here. Don't want to get too far into that. And even number 47, Guest Racing, and my name right here with the United States flag right here, the American flag. Your boy Mr. Jack 000, representing for the United States of America, because Americans, you know, we can drift, even though I can't drift like Tanner Faust or some of the Japanese people out there, including Ken Block of King of Gymkhana. So overall, a fine recreation, but not an exact replica of the Miata. So don't question where I'm at, because I'm at the bottom of the map here. And my video can't go on by doing some basic performance tests with this vehicle here. The first one we're going to be doing is a 0 to 62 acceleration test. Second, a 62 to 0 brake test. And lastly, a top speed run, which is very possible on this map, especially how I could drive under the frickin' map as of like right here. So enough of that. Let's start with the acceleration test right now. Holy 2JZ, 0 to 63. That thing is flawed in 3.63 seconds. Let's get ready for a brake test. Now, you gotta be like very precise, unless you get like 61, 63 or whatever. So 62 to 0 in 2.97 seconds, 131.85 feet. For this type of car, I don't know. So for a top speed run, let's accelerate right now. Got some of that wheel spin, pretty much same 0 to 62 time. About 100th of a second better, and I thought we were coming up to the end of the map here. It's just, well, it's just an illusion. So we're on our last gear, gear number 6, and we're gonna easily hit top speed. If this hits top speed, I'm just gonna spawn back at the map, and oh my aerodynamics. Well, we did a drift. That gives us a hint of what we're doing at Ibisu. So it's pretty much gonna keep doing this. So let's just spawn back at the map, which is going to take me like an hour to do, so hang tight for me. Alright, finally back at the map. Let's F7 it. Oh my god, up here at 177 miles an hour into this building. Slow this down to 16 times and hide the UI and get ready to resume physics here right now. And I should probably slow this down another and get a camera going, because this is going to be super brutal. I swear, what's it like getting a perspective of like, you know, somebody looking over the racetrack and see this thing coming? So resume physics, and oh, there goes a tire. What's, oh no, wait, whoa, there goes the roof. Okay, this is getting very awkward now. 16, there goes the engine. Okay then. So it's just gonna keep flat spinning, so full time, gonna flat spin. And flat spin even more, and engine. Come to a rest, please. Alright, it has come to a rest. And is that the engine right here? Another piece of it? Or the brake caliper? Like right here, protruding from the hood? Wow, that's pretty interesting. So by doing that, we killed the engine, killed 2 of the 4 tires, we'll bust out 2 and pop the other 2. And looking at extended damage, there's the engine. Not a whole lot on the front, a lot on the right side. Oh my god, this thing's like protruding like 10 feet in the air. Is that the suspension just hanging out right here? But overall, it's pretty bad. And again, no sky active technology here. So let's stay on this map here and just do some free drifts on this map, in this course here, because I do know that there is a separate mod, but it's a scenario, not a time trial of this course where you drive a Hirochi Pursue, a wannabe Toyota Supra, and just do drifts around this track here. But unfortunately, you can't do that because it's only locked to one car and it's a scenario, not a time trial. After we do the free drifts on this course here, we'll switch it up by doing a time trial at West Coast, USA, which I think they do have a drift course set at one of the maps there on the time trials, which I'll do that in a few minutes in this video. So let's get ready to start driving here right now and start drifting this bad boy. So go around this corner. Not bad. Might as well do manual mode so I can get the most of the transmission. Not bad, and that was close. Somewhat of a bad attack angle at the end of that drift. If I had a turbocharger that would spooling up around like low 2000 RPMs rather than like the mid 2000s, this would probably kick a lot better with the amount of wheel spin with this vehicle. And what's even more interesting, you could do 90-degree drifts very easily with this car, and we about overheated right there. And let's get down to second gear. Nice, that's a good drift. And this is gonna be bad. Even off camera, I usually screw up on that corner a lot. I mean, a lot. And I thought that would have been bad, but we're sitting sideways and we're doing okay still. You know, let's do an interior view with the onboard camera at the hood here and make things even more interesting. What's it like getting an onboard perspective of me drifting? And dang, this thing is like hella loud, and I tapped the back end. Hopefully that ain't gonna really tone down the performance of drifting this vehicle. Alright, now 90-degree drifting, and okay, we basically recovered that somehow. Alright, please make this right. Not that bad. It was basically more of a turn than a drift. How about here? That was too much in the handbrake. Alright, do one more lap and then we'll crash this out and take it to the West Coast, USA, and do a few laps and be drifting at West Coast, USA. And that was a nudge. Hopefully it's nothing that bad. And that was a nudge there too. How about a... okay, take an external view. It's bad. I would say do some external view shots of me drifted, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. I swear if that hit makes drifting even better. Even though it's all-wheel drive, you can make 90-degree drifts like perfectly, like that one drifter in the mid-2000s. Like I forgot what course it was. I don't think it was. Well, I wasn't thinking Fuji Speedway, but yep, that hit made it bad. But it was some drift course, and it was like the early 2000s or whatever. And this dude pulled a 90-degree drift like this, like a perfect 90-degree drift around a corner. He got the freaking Japanese commentators going completely bonkers over that drift. And it was more noise than speaking, just shocked of that drift. Yeah, my drift skills are getting horrible every lap. So let's wrap this up. Crash somewhere is like... controller's dead. Right here. This wall here. Or this barrier in specific, at around 70 miles an hour. And camera as is, go to 16 times, and... damn, that's a brutal hit. Full time. And the engine's still running. And we're not going to hit the wall. Interesting, and that tire is lifted off the ground and we'll hit that wall. Okay, that's a trade-off. And this thing is hella auto-steering to the right because of the damage of the vehicle. And two, that is the engine exposed, crinkled underneath that hood there, which is interesting. Suspension is gone as of right now, I swear. Well, you can't bend the tire because that's how automation works, but the suspension's broken and the tire through the body. Yeah. And before we go, can this thing still drive? Not exactly, and the suspension, right rear suspension is... okay, we're overheating. Coolant overheating. Let's just... wow. Let's ignore that. So right now, let's do a time trial, like I said, at West Coast, USA, which I think they do have a drift course somewhere, is right? Yeah, drift circuit. Let's do that. And let's do 4 laps of this thing in the afternoon with this here Miata. So all that is set up, I'm going to be taking you to the starting line of this drift course right now. So here we are at the start and finish line, and we're right in the middle of the start and finish line, which is pretty interesting. your boys BeamNG and everybody, they got updated soon, even though I'm not that concerned about it. So it's good to get started here with this drift time trial in 3, 2, 1, start. And that wheel spin was basically nothing. And get ready for manual now. Kind of a shoddy drift right there. How about here? Well, I gotta come slow. And bad kick right there. Second gear, pull brake. And not bad if I would have kept that angle, getting close to that wall. And I thought I was supposed to keep going straight, but whatevs. Alright, this turn here. Not that bad. Alright, first lap around 48 seconds, and slow down, Scott. Ow. And we're auto steering to the left. That's great. But I'm not going to stop there despite for that hit. And not only that, we're... Damn, I got even worse driving. Well, I'll just take you to the part where I crashed out in the second lap. So I'm at the point where I crashed out at. Let's, wow, not repeat that again. And drift here. Another somewhat 90-degree drift, but if you get too much angle, you won't really get out of the drift, and then come up to the next one, like right here. Wow, that was bad. Alright, brake, and same mistake. That almost took the goddamn tire off, and I think I took out the front lip of the vehicle. And god damn it. I'm literally gonna damage the freaking steering alignment within this time trial, this drift here. I swear, man, you could bet money on it. Wow, that was so damn close to hitting the wall. I just sparked it, but didn't really do much. I don't know what it would have been like if I would do a rear-wheel drive drift car. I'd probably make it a little bit less powerful, but somehow... Wow. Tune the transmission to get wheel spin on the first 2 gears, but not like buttload of wheel spin where it's flat out uncontrollable once you hit the gas. I don't want that to happen if I were to make a rear-wheel drive drift car, and... I swear... That was kind of a shoddy drift there, but fair recovery. Damn, tire deflated. There we have it, folks. Well, we could drift a little bit easier if we deflate a tire. Watch this, watch this. Letting me clean it. Ow. That didn't really make any sense whatsoever, but doing that, we're drifting even more, and we're getting a finish time of, well, for fourth lap, 53 seconds, 632 milliseconds, and... Yeah, milliseconds, with a total time of 3 minutes, 16 seconds, 307 milliseconds. That was a brutal hit. We take a look at it. Can I hit J? Yep, I can hit J to freeze physics, and we pretty much made a Ferrari FF type of look with the grille and shape and everyone in between from hitting that freaking barrier. So my best lap out of all that was a second lap of 45 seconds, 314 milliseconds. And we pretty much come up to a rest, hit the back end with this deflated tire and leaking radiator because of the damage. That's real nice. So before we take this down somewheres, like leap of death or something, which I'll probably do brutal slope, and its misery, like right here. Radiator leaking even more, it's upside down, it'll probably starve of oil real soon. And engine starved of oil, still upside down. Let's shut the engine off to preserve the engine before it explodes on us. So pretty much damage, let's say it's pretty similar, just damage up the roof, rear end, everything from that hit. So right now, let's take you to brutal slope and see if this thing can stay in a straight line going down this daunting hill here. And like before, the sand or whatever doesn't even exist for some odd reason. I don't know what the problem is. Is it like a texture issue or something else? So here we are at the ramp portion of the brutal slope. Let's recover here and then drive down right now. And I swear if we get a better 0 to 60 time going down this hill. Yes, we do, for 2.77 seconds of 117.52 feet. That's impressive. That won't beat a Tesla, and... God damn, I forgot. Aerodynamics doesn't exist in this vehicle. But what's it like just driving down here at high speeds? And it's pretty much going to be boring. Let's drive ourselves in the trees here. Full speed. What the hell? I was more surprised with the engine more than the frickin' physics of me getting stuck in this tree here. So that pretty much mangled and stretched out the vehicle. Not a lot, but quite a bit. And this tire is moving, so hit the brakes. E-brake. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation. And can we do this again? Let's go slow and then just gun it at the end. So just let it coast down the hill, and I'll take it to the bottom of the ramp. Because for some odd reason, like right here, you see how it's moving by itself because poor aerodynamics? It's because I don't have like a fully clad, semi-clad, or a downforce under tray, or enough downforce to keep this glued on the ground so we're not shifting left, right, block. Well, let's just do this instead. 4 times slow-mo, as is. Tire deflated. Full time. That's going to pretty much be the replacement of going up the ramp and then clapping down at the frickin' concrete at the other side of this hill here. Still tumbling. And coming to a rest upside down. Let's flip it up right and show you the aftermath of destruction. And it's not being starved of oil. Just watch. Well, it's going to. Let's preserve the engine. And taking a look at the damage briefly. Really flattened this downward. We made it even more aerodynamic. And the suspension, the tie rod, everything sticking out here, even though this tire could still move. You see there. Some roof damage, seat, and a deformed steering wheel, a dashboard, and a transmission stabbing through this man's heart here. He'll definitely go to a hospital for that. And pretty much elsewhere, screwed up polygons, but pretty much as expected for doing that. Alright, last part of the video, hit the gas, skateboard down this here hill, and into those wedge thingy at the bottom of the hill, which is basically a rectangular block that you get your vehicle wedged underneath it once you crash at high speed. We're over revving quite a lot, and we're keeping it stable surprisingly, and we're going to crash at a very high speed of 240 plus miles an hour. Let's crank this down to 16, bring it all the way up to here, hide the UI. And here it comes. So it's great to slow it to 100 times. All right, right now, 100 times, go. And crumbly. Well, what the hell was that? Crumbly. And inward folding by not Tenacious D and full time. I thought it was going to like pop, like, pew, pop backwards like another 100 feet, but it didn't. So that killed the engine, even though it's pretty happy about it, according to this grill and these lights here. It's glad that it wants to commit vehicular suicide. You got the frickin' tranny, tie rod, rods, everything exposed through the freaking hood here. Back tire is spinning, handbrake, and... Wait, did I just contract it? Hold on, I think that contract the tire once it hit the e-brake. That's weird. So pretty much everywhere, and every side of this vehicle, wherever you look at it, is pretty mangled. Interior, he's a rectangle. The body of whoever is driving this vehicle will be a rectangle. I mean, that's the truth, unfortunately, when you crash at a vehicle at such a high speed like this. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the Mazda MX-5 Miata drift car. For an all-wheel drive drift vehicle, it's pretty nice of a drift vehicle, especially where you could do 90-degree drifts at like 90, 100 miles an hour and pull those without any problem whatsoever. For like drifting in general, you pretty much have to like steer correctly and time your accelerations and everything correctly so you can snap left and right and get a perfect angle in each turn to get that perfect drift and impress every judge and everybody out there that's into drifting. And for the sake of drift vehicles like this, let me know down below if you want me to make another drift vehicle, preferably a rear-wheel drive drift vehicle. It could be another Miata or just whatever car that you want me to make. Let me know down below in the comments if you want me to do that in the future. So this has been Mr. Jack at 000. I'll see you in the next video.